So you just got done with the campaign and now it's time for the endgame, but you have no clue what to actually do now. Or did you already start the endgame and now you are actually stuck? Well, in today's video, I will go through my best tips when it comes to the endgame and especially the activity expeditions, since I hear it a lot in my chat that people get stuck and have problems progressing. Before I get into the actual video though, I want to let you know that I have plenty of Outriders videos on my channel and many more on the way. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new content. I also do live stream on twitch.tv/widdz and I'm pretty sure I'm actually live right now when you're watching this. So make sure you come and say hi and hit that follow button. But with that said, let's get started. So when the story is done, you unlock the in-game activity expeditions. Worth to note is that the world tier system you had during the story does nothing to the expeditions. Expeditions have their own system called challenge tiers. It's quite identical to world tiers, but it got way bigger leaps compared to the world tier, and it also goes all the way up to level 50, while world tier caps at 42, I believe. To progress through the challenge tier in expedition is a bit different to the world tier. In the beginning, you only have to beat the challenge tiers, but the higher up you get, you have to actually get silver time, and in the end you even have to get gold to progress through. Also worth to know is that the bronze to gold times give you bonus in terms of gears and resources, where gold obviously gives you the most. Expeditions also adds a new endgame resource called drop pods. Drop pods can be used on the elite vendor to buy gear, where he also sells 6 selected legendaries. When you reach higher item levels, it is also needed to upgrade your gear. If you want to buy any of the legendaries from this vendor, I would suggest you to grind one level below your max tier until you got the amount you need, since every time you increase your challenge tier, the prices goes up. If you play Trickster or play any other character where you use a shotgun, I would definitely recommend you to get the bulwark, since it will help you out a lot. I will get back to this later on in the video though. So that's kinda how the expedition works. But before I get into the tips, I just want to tell you that Outriders is one of the hardest games I actually played in a really long time. It is definitely normal to be stuck at a certain challenge tier for a bit, especially when you're learning the game. So don't let that bring you down. So when it comes to progressing through challenge tiers in expeditions, I think the most important thing in Outriders, especially when it comes to harder content, is to make sure you have an actual good build. Without having a good build, you will not be able to clear the harder content. If you're looking for a good trickster build, you can check it out on my channel. And if you're looking for other class builds, I would recommend to check out my friend Nick on YouTube. So let's say you actually have a good build and you're still struggling. Most of the time, that is because your gear is just outdated. So then it's time to look at your actual gear to make sure it is up to level. You might have been able to steamroll through a certain challenge tier, then you went to the next tier and you just got completely destroyed. Don't worry though, like this is really normal, and especially when you reach the higher tiers, it's gonna happen even more. It's worth to note that in the earlier tiers, every other tier it jumps 2 levels and not 1. Which can be quite crazy if some of the gear you have are really low from before, so check your gear and make sure it's leveled up. Because even stats that you normally don't care too much about, such as armor, will reduce your survivability a lot if it's way lower item level. And of course your damage and all that, everything just scales, so if you have a high jump in item level, I would definitely take a look at the gear and try to upgrade it. So if that happens, I would recommend to upgrade the lower level gear, since that is quite cheap. But probably don't max it out completely, since that can be quite expensive. But 1 to 3 levels below is usually quite cheap. Number 1 priority every level though should be to level up your weapon, since that will give you the biggest increase, especially the higher the level you get to. It can be really crazy in different item levels. Then if you have a god roll piece, I would just always upgrade that one, since you will keep it forever with the build. Something worth mentioning is that you can also raise your attributes on your gear with the use of shards. I didn't really do this much until I hit item level 50, but if you need some extra firepower, go to the mod vendor and raise the attributes on some of the pieces to really max out your gear. You get the shards when you deconstruct items that have the shard icon next to the attribute. In terms of attributes, I would definitely recommend to try to get the weapon life leech on your gun, since that can help you a lot with survivability. I often felt like having that on my gun would be the difference of me surviving or dying, so definitely try to implement that. If you don't have that on your gun, I would recommend running something like Thirst for Blood that increases your weapon life leech by 40% for 10 seconds if you kill something with a bleed. And that's where the legendary shotgun bulwark that I showed earlier really makes that possible, and that will help you a lot with the survivability. For more mod tips and build info, check out my Trickster build video, or actually the video tomorrow that will be focused on survivability with mods and much more. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss that out. Also, if you only have a gun with one good mod, it could be easier and better to just swap it out to a higher level gun, since you can put one good mod of your choice on it, and it's also really cheap. But honestly, the most important thing with your gear is that you have the right attributes for your build and also mods. That is way more important than having higher stats, so don't just equip the highest gear. Keep your build intact, because build synergy is everything in this game. Also, something I did wrong was to push too much on the highest tier I could play, instead of farming one tier below and actually getting completions, which means more materials and such. Even if the gear is 1 or even 2 levels below, you will still get a tons of material for just completing it, which you then can use to upgrade your gear. And of course, you can still get better gear that have better mods and the right attributes, even if they are 1 or 2 levels below. So play at tier 1 or maybe even 2 tiers below that you can grind easily and fast. And just do that for a bit until you're comfortable with your gear. Also, something really important is to always check the vendor every 30 minutes, because that's when it resets. That's actually where I got most of my upgrades, and they will always have the highest level that you can wear. They are usually pretty expensive when you get to a new item level, since all prices go up every time you hit a new challenge tier, including vendor, gear upgrades, and on top of that, you do get more materials when you play the highest tier from the tier you just got. Anyway, I think that's gonna be it for this video. If you feel like I forgot something or you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment section below, and I will do my best to answer that as fast as possible. If you're interested in more Outriders videos, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. I also live stream on twitch.tv/widdz, and I'm pretty sure I'm actually live right now when you're watching this. So if you want to come and say hi, or maybe ask a question and get a faster response, I would recommend you to go to twitch.tv/widdz. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and catch you guys in the next video. No. Bro. Dude, I'm getting scammed, man.